YouTube. What's going on? Appreciate y'all watching my videos. What's going on? I'm out here in Atlanta somewhere, and I'm waiting for my paperwork. This is where I'm at right now. Y'all, some of y'all might know where this is, but I don't know what's going on with the YouTube app, but I think I got it straightened out. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. I just updated the YouTube app. So any of y'all having trouble with the YouTube app, you might have to just go ahead and update it. I'm seeing like I'm coming in pretty clear right now. But yeah, like I was saying a while ago, subwoofer, what's going on? SRO, what's going on? Congratulations, SRO. It's gonna be your second week with your authority. Congratulations, man. Congratulations, man. But like I was saying a while ago in the last live feed, that I don't know what was going on, but what I was saying, I was talking about factoring companies, factoring, and trucking. So it's been a handful of guys been dropping videos about factoring and stuff like that. And any of y'all who watch Ike Stevens, but I forgot the name of his channel, but Ike Stevens has got a YouTube channel, and he did he did like a parody, kind of, sort of, because a handful of guys have been giving their opinion on factoring companies when they don't have their authority. Now, I don't think you have to have done something to give your opinion, but I think before you give a statement or an opinion on something, you have to disclose. You have to disclose your context and what you was talking about. Them jokers slow as fuck. Because a lot of my videos, if you go through all my videos, like a lot of guys, talking, all kind of mess about things, and like I talk about a lot of stuff that I haven't personally experienced myself, but it comes from a perspective that's, relayed through somebody, right? Or it's due to research, right? You get on your computer or you go and talk to somebody, like, hey man, you got your own authority? Yeah, man, I got my own authority. You factor? Yeah, man, factor. Yeah, I factor. Yeah, I like factoring. And you get a perspective through somebody else. But I think when you give your opinion on something, you need to give your opinion from a stance and disclose your stance so that people understand what you're saying. Because a lot of people, they feel like, oh man, if you ain't never done it, you shouldn't be giving your opinion. But you can give your opinion on something from a stance depending on like where you are. Because a lot of my videos I talk about, if you go back when I was at Snyder, when I was at Traveloco, I was talking about getting your authority. Now, I wouldn't talk about it as if I had my authority, but I talk about it at a point where, okay, these are the things that I found from getting your authority, talking to guys, knowing people, and doing research. You know what I'm saying? You at Americode Storage in Alabama? I won't go unless I get my detention money up front. Oh yeah, man, like some of these places, man, you gotta any kind of food service. LaShawn Parks, what's going on, man? It's a broker calling me. Damn. This broker, he probably calling me about this load I booked last week, and I'll call him back later. Hold on, let me turn this. Actually, I'm waiting for a phone call. I'm waiting for them to call me about my bills. But yeah, I'm at a food service place right now, and it's but I mean they unloaded me pretty quick, so I'm waiting for my paperwork. So they unload pretty quick. I mean, I would say it's a world record when it comes to these food service places. Like, as soon as I backed in, I got unloaded real quick. Yeah, man, what's going on? So like guys talking about getting the authority, right? And they give their opinion from a certain opinion, from a stance. Like, I got a bunch of videos talking about different things that I've done research on when I haven't experienced it yet, right? So like a lot of guys talking about factoring companies, you know, a lot of guys talking about the authority, a lot of guys talking about trucking in general from a standpoint, from their perspective. And I think a person's perspective needs to be addressed when you're giving your opinion, so that way you can kind of take it with a grain of salt and not say, well, okay, if you ask somebody about authority when they never had the authority, then you're going to get a different answer from a guy who experienced actually running their authority and actually having their authority. You know what I mean? So I think that's an issue that needs to be addressed when you talking to somebody, getting perspective. So in that light, so a lot of guys been making videos. Woody made some videos. I think LaShawn Park made some videos about factoring companies. I think just a bunch. Trucker Coach been giving videos. Like, I think I got a couple videos about factoring companies. Like, I got videos talking about factoring companies before I got my authority, and I got videos after I got my authority. So those answers are going to be different. LaShawn say this is why it's key not to speak on things you never did. Kinda. It's not necessarily speaking on things you never did. I think when you are speaking on something, you need to give the context in what you're speaking on. You can say, okay, when I had my authority, or I have my authority, right? These are the things I experienced. And from that standpoint and that perspective, this is what And even still, with guys who did experience something, it's all subjective. You know what I mean? Even if you have your authority, or you've been married, or you bought a house, or you bought a truck, or you installed floor tiled, or you painted a car, or you had kids before. It don't matter. You know, all those perspectives are different when you experience them and you haven't experienced them. And and I think guys who haven't experienced some of that stuff, I think, well, not guys, but just people. I think just people who haven't experienced certain things that they have an opinion on, they have to be more open to like somebody or the situation that's actually being experienced. Because, you know, everybody has a right to an opinion. You know what I mean? So I think, like, for example, if you never had a kid, but then you have an opinion on what it's like to have kids, then that's cool to have that opinion. But then you need to search out somebody, or at least 5 people who had kids, to give your opinion on, okay, children. And then once you talk to those 5 people or 10 people, and then it'll open your mind up to like, oh, you know what? Having children is not that bad. Or getting your authority is not that bad. Or factoring companies is not that bad. But anyway, so we're talking about factoring companies. Handful of guys been talking about, you know, factoring companies and stuff. And I've been laughing because it's just like, it's funny because this is just my opinion. In my opinion, I think factoring companies have a place in trucking or in business. And I think there's nothing wrong with having factoring companies. And even big mega companies use factoring companies because it's just an efficient way to do billing. It's not just paying a fee to somebody to invoice your bills, or paying a fee to get your money up front in a short amount of time. Like for me, a factoring company, LaShawn Park said he never talked on factoring companies. Oh, okay, my bad. I could have swore you might have had a video. I don't know. But I watch a lot of guys' videos, as Sean Parks, Woody, Trucker Coach, Truck Exec. I watch a lot of guys' videos, Jeffrey L, a lot of guys. So I don't know, maybe I don't want to. Being that you on here, you can speak for yourself. You can say, no, I ain't make no video on factoring company. So okay, cool. You never had a video on factoring company. But yeah, that's a good point, man. Yeah. Right. Yeah, you right, LaShawn. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I do agree with you. Like, you shouldn't speak on things that you haven't done, but at the same time, it's just like, because like when I do research on stuff, and it's like I try to be careful on sharing certain types of information, even though I never experienced it, but the research and the data that I've gathered, I think I just want to share that data. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, factoring companies. These are the experiences that I experienced with factoring company. But then if you come from a research standpoint, then you can say, my research, this and that. But you can't say, well, I think factoring companies this. Well, you can't say that you think because you haven't experienced it. But I think if you come from a data gathering or research standpoint, then you can speak on it on the set. But it's a slippery slope. You're right, LaShawn. It's a slippery slope. I agree with you. But anyway, that's why, like you said, you may not want to even touch the subject because it's such a slippery slope. It's like, you don't even want to, you shouldn't even be touching on it because you never really experienced it. And I agree, it's a slippery slope. But so in my opinion, like with factoring companies, I don't think the idea of factoring companies is a bad idea, and it's not as bad as a lot of guys make it, because like I have my authority, right? So for a one-man truck, it makes sense for me to factor. I don't care if you had the money put back or not. It makes absolute sense to factor. Okay, let me tell you the reason why. When we're talking about running a business, you only got so many hours in a day. You only got so much time in a day, and there's certain things you got to delegate in the business. So having a factoring company allows you to delegate a very important task to a company for a fee. So like when I factor, right, or with quick pay or whatever, I'll probably run about 4 or 5 loads a week. My loads range anywhere from 800 to like 1,400. So a load that pays 800, I would pay maybe like $15, $16, and maybe about $15 to factor that load. $15. Okay, we're talking about $15, which isn't bad. And on top of that, that $15 is a business expense. Okay, So you start rounding up these numbers. I did the numbers. I'm probably paying about quick pay and factoring fees. I'm probably paying about maybe about $450 a month for factoring fees. And then if you do the math on that, it comes out to about $6,000 a year. Now, if you're grossing what, 250,000 a year, to pay what, 3% of your gross to delegate a task, a very important task, it's a small number, because Jeffrey L. brought up a point that if you don't factor, there is a high chance of you not getting paid for a load. And say, if you do pay a factoring company, 3%, that's about $6,000 to $7,000 a year, right? So you say you pay the factoring company about that's a week's pay. For if you run your own authority, about $6,000 to $7,000, that's about a week's pay. Somebody with the authority. So you delegating a very important task. You talking about invoice collecting. Somebody's collecting your bills on your behalf. Somebody is invoicing your customer on your behalf. And somebody is keeping track of your business activity on your behalf. And you log on to the site. For example, I'm with Triumph, right? I'm with Triumph Business Capital. That's who I factor with. So I'm trying to pull up my account. So when we talking about factoring, and just with one truck, we didn't even get to multiple trucks yet. I'm trying to explain the benefits. Okay. Just with one truck, there's a lot of benefit, because with one truck, you can't be calling up all your customers that you've done business with. You can't be calling up all these companies every 30 to 60 days to make sure you're getting paid on your bills. You can't do that. You can do it, but you got all this other stuff you got to do with one truck, which you're on a 30. You got to call brokers to put freight on your truck. You got to keep your truck busy. You got to maintain your IFTA. You got to maintain your logbooks. You got to maintain these daily activities. So once you start running 30 to 60 days when you first start your authority, you're going to be, say you don't factor, you're going to be running 30 to 60 days. And you got to keep track of all your invoices and bills. If you don't factor, I will guarantee you it's going to be a few loads that you forget. You can write down all the loads that you want. You can keep track of all this stuff. You're going to forget a load. You're going to forget one. Now, when we talk about the benefits of factoring, you can't say, oh, it's not a good idea to factor when you're factoring, it's keeping track of your business activity. Okay? Now, when it comes to, and I'm talking from, this is not, you just got to think about it. Now, when it comes to, because I was totally against factoring, but then again, I was like, because I can run my business without factoring, without quick pay. I can run my business probably about 60 days. But why should you do that? Why should you exhaust all your cash to save $400? Where does $400 or $500? Where does that make sense? To save $1,000. So you want to run your business, exhaust all your cash, and have the risk of not getting paid on the load, because in 30 days, I guarantee you're going to forget a load, 2 loads, 3 loads. You run in one truck. I guarantee you in a 30 to 60 day period, you're going to lose a load. You just going to lose a bill. You're going to lose an invoice. You're going to forget to call a customer that owes you a freight bill. You're going to forget. And even Like even that I track my paperwork on my truck very well. Like I still like lose track of stuff. I have to go back in my oh, I thought this guy was giving me my come and check on me. Like, so this is what I keep up with my freight that I run on my truck. So I'll go through here and check off stuff, because I have I have bills, I have invoices that's not being paid. So I have to go through here and check off and go through my business checking account and check off the ones I've been paid and the ones that haven't been paid, just to make sure that I'm getting paid. Now, that's with factoring. Now, if I didn't have factoring, you got to make sure you're getting paid for your freight. And I guarantee you, in a 52-week year, you're going to miss a couple bills. You're going to miss one, okay? So that's one benefit when it comes to factoring. Now, when we're talking about the cash revenue, being able to run your business for 30, 60 days without getting paid, that's not a smart move to me. You can do it, but it's just not smart to me, because you want to be able to run the truck, get paid, run the truck, get paid, run the truck, get paid. You don't want to be running your business for 30 to 60 days, 90 days sometimes, because there's some brokers that pay at 90 days. You want to stay away from them brokers because you running a high risk of not getting paid. Like when you go on the DAC board or you go into a lower board and it has the credit rating for the customer, they lie on there, because it'll say, yeah, they pay in 14 days, 28 days, 36 days, 42 days. No, they lie, man. They lie. Some of those brokers, they pay in 100 days, some cases. And that's a high risk of not you calling them up. Hey, we have a bill outstanding. We just want to make sure that we're going to get paid for this bill, or you send them an email or what have you. So that, to me, to save $400-500, $1,000 is stupid to me, because what we talking about? You grossing 250 grand a year to pay somebody to take care of your back office billing for you. That's what that is, billing or invoices. It makes sure you got all your freight is accountable for. And so in the event of an audit or an event of bookkeeping, you want your business to look good on paper. That's a good reason to have factoring. So now I was talking about the cash flow. Even though, like, guys feel like, okay, if I have 100 grand in the bank, I don't need a factoring company. Oh, factoring companies are ripoff. Saying that, okay, if you charge 3%, if you're getting charged 3% on your freight bills, it equals out to a whole bunch of money at the end of the year. No, it don't. 3%. A lot of guys what they're doing, let me see. Yeah, a lot of guys, what a lot of guys are doing, they're looking at the factoring fee as if it's an interest rate compounded over time. When you're looking at a factoring fee, it's a 3% fee of that bill at that time. So when you're talking about the factoring fee is, say you got $1,000 freight bill and it's 3%. It's only 3% of that freight bill, which it'll be $30 of that freight bill at that time. See, because a lot of guys, they look at it as if it's an amortization table, like a house or a car. Because when you're charging a percentage rate on a dollar amount over an extended period of time, you're paying a daily annual percentage rate for as long as you have the debt over time. This isn't debt or interest. It's just a fee based on the dollar amount at that time. So if you got a $1,500 freight bill, it'll be $45. Done. You get $1,500 freight bill minus $45. That's it. $1,000 freight bill is $30. That's it. It's not you paying $1,500. You got a $1,500 freight bill, and you paying 30%. You paying 3% per day. You paying 3% per month interest rate. No, that's not how a factoring fee works. It's just a fee at that time, and you can gather all those fees up at the end of the year, which is for me it equates to somewhere around $5,000 to $6,000 a year. I just did a rough estimate, and you can just deduct that on your taxes as interest fee, bank fee, or whatever you want to call it on your Schedule C, just like any other deduction in business. So actually, it's not really 6%, or not actually 6,000. It actually comes, you deduct the 6,000 on your taxes. So you might get maybe $2,000 back in effective. You might be being charged like $4,000 a year. But it's, to me, even if you had 200,000, you should be factoring. If you're a small business, I think you should be factoring. It's a small amount of money to be paying to somebody to keep track of all your paperwork and all your bills and stuff like that. It's basically like a payroll company to me. Because if you in business, you're gonna have to pay somebody. Either you're gonna pay a payroll company, you're gonna pay a factoring company, you're gonna pay the accountant to keep up with your paperwork, or you're gonna pay somebody. And when you got all this stuff to do in your authority, running a truck down the road in business, you're gonna have to delegate some tasks to somebody. You're gonna have to delegate some of this shit to somebody. You can't do everything. So you can't sit here, you're going to be booking loads and you're going to be doing this and that, trying to save $1,000, trying to save $400, $500, $600. It just doesn't make sense. Pay somebody, give up the money, you in business, pay somebody to do the task. And that's just my opinion on that. Now, I'm going to talk about adding more trucks. Now, in a lot of cases, a factoring company, what they're going to do, if you got multiple trucks, you get a fuel card, right? You can say, if I was to hire like 3 or 4 independent contractors on my authority, right? All I have to do is just set up put their checking account on my EFS account, and anytime a driver delivers a load, they send me the bills to my factoring company, they pay me, I send the money to the driver, just like that. I don't even have to come out of my own pocket. That's good business management to me. Cash flow management. I don't care how much cash you got in the bank. Why use my own cash when I can use a factoring company to get paid on those bills, and it streamlined the whole process. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that just makes sense. I don't care how much cash in the bank you got. It just makes sense. I mean, guys feel like if they have cash, they shouldn't be factoring, but a lot of big carriers factor, believe it or not. Travel Loco factors. I think Roadrunner factors. It's a lot of big companies out here factors, but see, the thing is, it's like guys got it confused. It's like once you get past so many trucks, you get a discount on the factoring fee. Because I talked to my factoring company, which is Triumph Business Capital. Like if I had about 10, I think after you get to about 10, 15 trucks, you get a discount. So if you got 10 or 15 trucks and the factoring company gives you a discount based on volume, your factoring fee is like a 1.5% at that point. I've seen factoring companies, if you have like 50 trucks and you're doing so many freight bills a month, so many freight bills a week, your factoring fee is 1% at that point. I've seen some factoring companies at 1%. But a lot of guys with the small trucking companies, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trucks. You're going to be at that 2% range, 2.5% range. And that's just what it is. So when we talk about factoring, there's a lot of benefit to factoring that guys don't really look at, and they just like, oh, 3%. I don't want to spend, using these ridiculous numbers like, that don't make sense. Like if a factoring company charges 5%, I just won't go with them. That's a high rate to factor. It got to be a lot of other things that factoring company is doing for me to be charged a 5% factoring rate. That's very high for factoring. Very high. I mean 4% is like the average for one truck. But when you start to get like 5, 10, 20 trucks, you're getting a discount. You're down to like 2% factoring rate. I had one factoring company call me. She had, for the first 12 months, my factoring rate would be 1.99% for the first year. And then after that, it goes up to 3%, which is decent. But a lot of guys don't understand, once you choose a factoring company, it's very hard to change a factoring company. Very hard. When you find a factoring company, you're married to them. It's gonna be, because as long as you got outstanding bills with them, it's gonna be hard. And basically, you have to just cash flow your business for about 90 days until all the bills clear out. But there's a lot of benefits to factoring, man. And to me, delegating a task over, being able to hold on my cash and have better cash management, to me, that's just a better deal to me than trying to hold on $500 in a month. It's $500 a month to factor for me. $500. It's nothing. It's just another business expense. So I'm gonna do all that trying to save $500. Now, granted, $500 is a lot of money, but we're running a business here, so you're gonna have to give up the money and pay somebody. And when tax time come along, you go up on your factoring account, you just print out the report, and you go through your expenses. Boop boop boop. Okay, it's just a flat. You just boop boop. It's easy to do your tax. Do your Schedule C, get the factoring report. Oh, I did $200,000 this year. Bop bop bop. Easy. So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure there are other benefits, but for me standing here right now, those are some of the things that I can say. Like, a lot of guys, it's like, okay, here's the deal. See, you got some people are hypocrites. Now, I got a lot of material. I got a lot of content on my channel that I talk about and then I go against. Like, I'll be like, no, don't get your authority. Your authority is a waste of time. And then I'll be like, yeah, get your authority. I'll be like, get a truck, lease a truck. Then I'll be like, yeah, go buy a truck, pay cash. So, I'm no saint, but here's the thing. Like, see, you got a lot of guys out here that's using debt to purchase equipment. You got a lot of guys that's using debt to start their business, but at the same time, they're disagreeing with factoring. If you're so much a person who disagrees with factoring, you need to be a Dave Ramsey. Like, if you guys follow Dave Ramsey, he don't believe in borrowing money at all, period. He doesn't believe in borrowing no money at all, period. So if you're against factoring company, you need to be paying cash for your trucks. You need to be paying cash for your trailers. You need to be cash flowing your business 100%. You can't say, oh, you against factoring, but then you borrowing money to buy trucks, and you borrowing money to buy trailers. You borrowing money to start your business. Well, pick one, So, like, factoring is just another way to finance a business, so to speak. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. So, a lot of guys have their opinion. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Let me see. Jeffrey L. Here are some of the numbers to wrap your head around. A 10 truck fleet averages 250,000 in bills to be collected in 30 days. Right. Right. In 45 days, it's around 375,000, not including fuel costs of the 50 to 70. See what I'm talking about? That alone, you can't say, "Oh yeah, I'm a cash flow my business." It doesn't make sense to save 2%. Doesn't make sense. If you're making 25,000 a month, 20,000 a month, it doesn't make sense. And so like, and you know, a lot of guys look at the factoring rate as if it's an amortized rate over time. It's not. It's a flat rate fee paid at that time. Come on with it. This man's all over the place. Make sure your info is correct for you have Be Smooth and the coach on you like what? Oh, it's all good. Because here's the deal, like, I'm not perfect, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm perfect. And Be Smooth and Trucker Coach, they can talk all they want because they're not perfect themselves. Okay, at the same time, they can pull out all this BS on me, but at the same time, I can pull out BS on them. And we all people. We all say things. We misspeak on things. We do some research with some incorrect information. Give me a break. I'm a human being. I'm a man. I'm a real man behind this camera right here. I'm a real man. Believe it. I'm no superhuman. So that's why I tell guys to get their authority, because a lot of guys hold me to a certain level as if I'm not this. I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude. I'm just a regular dude that decided to go get the authority and get a truck and trailer. I ain't nobody special. So if you're gonna sit there and nitpick over a few words that I stumble over, you need to get a life, man. You need to, I don't know what else to tell you. You need to go see somebody about that. You need to go to church and find yourself. You need to go somewhere with that, because you got a lot of people walking around bitter and got this attitude about somebody else, and walking around talking about, well, he did this. It's like, so what? So what? I'm a man just like you. We all people. We all make mistakes. We all have opinion. We all have a perspective on things. It may not be correct. It may be wrong. And like a lot of guys, people in general, they just, I don't know what to say. It's just like people just, they hold on to things it just don't make sense. You know, it's just like, that's just like, oh, don't get your authority. So what? If you don't want to get your authority, don't. Okay, if you want to be a company driver, some guys feel like being a company driver is the best thing for you. Okay, some guys feel like, oh, getting your authority is the best thing for you. But everybody got their opinion. Take it with a grain of salt, you know? And like, like God, and you know, we just all people with different opinions, man. He said, use personal cash flow as a contingency plan and avoid factoring. Sounds like financial. Are you going to make interest on cash? Are you going to make interest on your cash by extending the credit to the load? So you're using your cash for 30 to 60 days and you still have to keep up with the paperwork. Yeah, man, that's, you know, the way it looks, your cash is in limbo for 5 to 7K a year. Just how you decide to structure your business, if the net profit is worth it. Yeah, Benjamin Duke. Yeah, I mean, that's your opinion, man. And you have that right. Just like I had a right to get up on this YouTube, create a channel, and voice my opinion about certain things. Is it right? I don't think so. And I'm sorry if I did come off as if what I say is the holy grail of all trucking or the holy grail of being in business. I'm sorry if you guys mistake that, but I'm sorry. This is just my opinion. It's not the best way. I'm sorry if you feel like it's the end all be all to trucking. I'm sorry, but it's just my opinion. And just like you have your opinion of running without factoring, hey, go do that. But I'd rather not to do that because, I'm not a bank. So I feel like I should run my truck and get paid when I'm done with the work. That's how I feel about it. So, for me, knowing that I ran the load and I did the work, I want to get my money in a couple days. I don't want to stretch it out no more than a week. It's not necessarily about all the technical stuff behind it, like, 30 days and 60 days and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's it. I'm done. That's it. It's just my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, I don't know what else to tell you. Everybody on YouTube got their opinion. I got mine. That's just what it is. But I mean, it's in the same way that I like factoring, there are a lot of reasons why I don't like factoring. I mean, a lot of guys be like, okay, for some guys, they may say like, well, why give away $5,000 to $10,000 of your gross revenue, for factoring when you can just cash flow your business and not factor, So I don't know. I don't know. That's just, I mean, I get both sides, but at the same time, like I'd rather run my truck, run the load, and get paid. I ain't trying to be waiting, 30 to 60 days to get paid. And most of what I see you do, Benjamin Duke say, and most of what I see you do, you put your plan out, talk about why you do it. That way you even talk about the good, bad, and indifferent and how it affects you. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, it's all good. It's just opinion, I mean, we all drivers out here. We doing business and stuff, because like I don't want like my opinion to come off the wrong way, because like some guys, you get around some people just because you have a difference in opinion. They're not really trying to, like, they don't know how to disagree with somebody. You know what I mean? It's just like some people feel like, okay, if they have a difference in opinion, it's like, for example, Donald Trump. Politics is a very interesting subject, very controversial subject. You get around certain people talking politics, and you have an opinion on something, they have opinion on something, and then some people just can't say, this is my opinion, and just let it be that. A lot of people just be like, well, you crazy for feeling like that. Well, nah, I ain't crazy. I just have a difference in opinion than you do. Some people may think Donald Trump is the greatest president ever lived. Then you got some people just think Donald Trump is a crappy president, so, and that's fine. And that's what makes this country so great, having the ability to have your own opinion, so, We're not forced to think a certain way. I'm gonna go ahead and check on these bills in a minute. But hey, man, give your lessons learned with every chapter in your business trucking journey as well. Yeah, some people some people be like that. They arrogant, you know. You gotta stay away from them kind of people, because them kind of people, like, they're gonna get themselves hurt, because they're not um folk like that. They're not humble enough to slow down and listen, you know, and slow down and listen. So it's like, for example, factoring companies. So if I stand in a room with about 3 or 4 guys and start talking about factoring companies, right? So, you know, this guy over here believes in factoring companies. This guy over here don't believe in factoring companies. So, you know, it's like, you know, everybody, y'all get what I'm saying. It's, you know, I think everybody's opinion, we can learn from each other's side, everybody can learn from each other and stuff like that. Some guys may feel different ways about different stuff. So she's not here to feed your insecurities. Yeah, I get that. You got people, you got folk running around, you got people running around trying to keep folk happy and not really being themselves. It ain't gonna hurt to have your own opinion, man. Everybody's got different life experiences to but hey, y'all, let me see. I'm gonna read this last comment. Yeah, what's the name? Put some deep thought up here. But hey, man, I appreciate y'all watching my videos, man. I'm gonna go ahead and check on my bills, and I'll see y'all next time. I gotta learn how to turn this thing off.